Hello, this is for the subject risk management, and the topic for this one is defining the upside of risk. So this is chapter 17 on the online resource material. The link is in the description. Okay? So upside of risk, ang pinupunto lang naman dito ay yung benefits of having risk management, or when you take on certain risk, there's a possibility na magkaroon siya ng, magkapag-contribute pa ng additional benefits or profit to the company. So, yun yung tinatawag natin na upside of risk. Kumbaga, what's positive about having risk and dealing with it, okay? So, in previous videos, I think in module 1, we've discussed yung benefits of risk management. So, we have CAD 3 or CAD E3. So, ito yung compliance, assurance, enhanced decision-making, and then yung 3 E's natin, efficiency, effectiveness, and efficacy. So, essentially, itong mga to ang benefits ng risk management. Okay? Compliance, normally with rules and regulations. Kasi ang mga businesses naman and organizations, normally they are regulated. Okay? And then you have your assurance. In a way, assurance na compliant din with the rules and regulations. And then not only to, compliance with rules and regulations, but with regards then sa controls in place sa company, na nasa-safeguard yung resources ng company, maayos na nagagamit to achieve the goals and objectives of the business. Okay? And then you have your enhanced decision-making. When making decisions, syempre, mas maayos kung mako-consider ng management yung different types of risk na exposed yung kanilang business, okay? In a way, it would help them be more informed and to make better decisions. Unlike sa hindi nila alam na meron palang, certain types of risks that can affect them, their operation. So, if they do not take that into account, maaring mali yung maging decisions nila sa kanilang organization, okay? Then you have your efficiency. This is the operations. Again, ang meaning ng efficiency is that using the least number or the least amount of resources, the business is able to maximize the output or to maximize the profit. So, in a way, siya ay reducing the cost while earning the most. Okay? And then you have your effectiveness. Normally, this would pertain to the process ng operations na effective in such that they are able to achieve yung kanilang goals and objectives using the process that they have in place. And again, yung safeguarding ng assets and to make sure na nagagamit ng maayos ang resources ng company. Hindi nasasayang, hindi na nanakaw, hindi na pupunta kung saan-saan lang. Okay? And then you have your efficacy, normally with strategies, na yung kanilang strategies na dina-develop, ina-apply, in-implement sa organization ay contributory to the achievement of the goals and objectives of the business. Okay? So, essentially, yan yung benefits ng risk management. Kind of a review kasi na-discuss naman na natin to in prior videos. Okay, but then some risk management practitioners, they still try to identify more dynamic range of benefits that can be delivered by successful risk management. Okay, so on top of this, although these are very generalized, na if you think of an additional benefit, it's possible na under nitong 5 na to, yung may isip mo na benefit. Okay? Makes a significant contribution to the operation of the organization, and yung contribution na yun nga yung tinatawag natin na upside of risk. Okay? Achieved when the benefits obtained from taking the risk are greater than any benefit that would have resulted from not taking it. Okay, dito sa definition na to, or dito sa statement na to, this pertains more on opportunity risk. Okay, kasi diba dun sa opportunity risk, there's a possibility na kapag tinake on mo yung risk na yon, maaring kumita or magkaroon ng dagdag kita, ang business, magkaroon ng additional profit. Okay? So, kumbaga, benefits obtained are greater. Okay? Than any benefit kapag hindi daw tinake yung risk na yon. Okay? Kasi, diba, normally, pag opportunity risk, kahit hindi mo siya i-take, merong, ongoing operations na yung business and kumikita naman yung business from that. But if you take on additional risk, opportunity risk, tapos naging successful siya, maayos na na-implement, yun nga, magkakaroon ng additional revenue or profit for the company. Ayan. And then, with regards to hazard management naman, di ba ang hazard risk ay negative ang effect sa company, kapag hindi maayos na manage yung hazard. So, it's either magkaroon ng additional cost to the company or magkaroon sila ng loss of sales or loss in profit. Okay, so negative yung effect. So, ang upside of risk doon is kapag, di ba, na-prohibit yung ganong scenario, less downside ang tawag. Ibig sabihin, nabawasan yung negativity. Okay? Less downside. Right? Less potential for disruption to normal, efficient, and routine operations. Okay? One of the goals din ito ng risk management, na yung mga identified risk hindi sana makaabala sa ongoing operations ng business. Okay? Kasi normally, it's possible talaga na makadisrupt ng operations kung hindi paghahandaan ng business or ng management. Okay? For example, nagkaroon ng bagyo, nasira yung, let's say, a portion of the premises. So, kailangan ipa-repair muna, kailangan ayusin muna before makapag trabaho ulit dun sa place na yon. Okay? Or di kaya naman, nagkaroon ng sunog. Okay? Yung mga gamit, natupok ng apoy, or kung ano man. Okay? So, ayan, may possibility na ma-disrupt ang operations. Okay? But if you have risk management in place, although of course, merong certain hazard risk na hindi preventable, hindi mo naman pwedeng pigilan ang bagyo, hindi mo pwedeng pigilan ang ang earthquake, okay? But there are, what do you call that? Controls na pwede mong ilagay para yung damage na maaari mong masuffer is mapaliit, lessen the impact, okay? So, it's either yung 4 treatments natin, diba? Treat, tolerate, transfer, or terminate, okay? So, ayan. Ito example, manufacturing company produces waste byproducts that create a disposal problem, may achieve the upside of risk by selling the unwanted byproduct or identifying a means of adding value to the waste product and selling it as another product stream. Okay, so kung merong byproduct, kunwari yung mga nag-produce ng t-shirts or textile, diba? Merong mga reta-retaso na naiiwan from the cuttings nung syempre, yung form nung t-shirt or nung damit, okay? Depending on the design. But, syempre, yung mga retaso na yun, pwede pa naman siyang mabenta, although not significant normally yung amount, but still, a way of disposing it is by selling the byproduct. Pwedeng, di ba, pwedeng ibenta mo sa gumagawa kunwari ng mga kilts or sa gumagawa ng mga, what do you call that? Floor mat or yung tawag doon, pot holder, yan, or kung ano man, may mga tao naman na gumagawa talaga ng mga, recycled scraps, diba? So, ayan. In solving that difficulty, acquiring additional benefits that had not been foreseen and were not otherwise available. So, ito yung possible na gawin. Isang scenario na tingin mo parang negative, but you can turn it around. Think of an idea na magiging positive or magiging contributory to the company pa. So, yan. Hindi mo siya na-foresee, pero again, there are possible resolutions. Tapos yung resolution na maisip mo is nakapag-contribute ka for additional revenue or profit ng company. Okay? So, yan. So, ito yung specific situations na provide examples ng upside of risk. Fewer disruptions to normal operations and greater operational efficiency, resulting in less downside of risk. Ability to seize an opportunity denied to competitors because a better informed view of the management of risk is taken. Okay? Sometimes parang opportunity risk, if you do not understand the type of risk na kaakibat ng isang business venture or business project, it's possible na ayawan mo yung opportunity na yon, right? But if you understand the risk and you have or you are able to develop a plan to counter that particular risk, di syempre mas malakas yung loob mo na i-take yung risk. And of course, it's an opportunity that could be positive ang result as long as ma-implement mo ng maayos. Okay? So, that's a benefit, upside of risk. Deliberately identifying events that will be positive during the risk assessment and deciding how to manage those events. Okay? Opportunity management, whereby a detailed evaluation is undertaken of new business opportunities before deciding to take the opportunity. Of course, before naman talaga kailangan i-analyze mo muna or i-assess mo yung, di ba? Kaya nga gumagawa tayo ng feasibility study, ganyan. Okay, before starting a business, or we create a business plan, right? And then you try to consider all the aspects or all factors that could affect the business, diba? Achieving a positive outcome from a situation that could have gone wrong without good judgment or risk management. Okay? Since we're talking about, diba, risk management, diba merong exercises doon on, risk assessment. Sometimes you have to think of numerous situations ahead of time. Iniisip mo na, ano yung mga possible scenarios na maaaring mag-occur in the business that could affect the operation. So, in that sense, parang nakahasa rin yung iyong preparations, critical thinking, and of course, problem resolutions, diba? Ayan, napapaghandaan. Achieving compliance or risk assurance in difficult circumstances is an unintended automatic consequences of good risk management. Kapag nasanay ka na you deal with different types of risk and alam mo na kung ano yung mga possible na pwede mong gawin to minimize their impact or the effect on your company, diba? Sasanay ka na kapag merong panibago na risk na nag-show up or ma-identify kayo sa business, you know what to do. So, ayan. Risk assessment workshop. Ito yung mga questions that could be raised. What events would create a better outcome than expected? So, in a way, idea generation siya. This is enabling an organization to seize a business opportunity that a competitor does not have the appetite to take or considers to be too risky. Okay, so yung example natin dito kanina. Kapag alam mo, naunawaan mo yung risk na kaakibat ng project, and you could better prepare for it, and if you assess na kaya naman ng company nyo na i-take on yung mga countermeasures and go ahead, diba? You can decide to go ahead with it. Okay, so yung K3 benefits, considered to be sufficient reason for undertaking a risk management initiative. Yung K3 natin. Again, compliance, assurance, better decision-making, and then efficiency, effectiveness, and efficacy. Okay? Opportunity assessment. So, yung mga opportunity assessments, again, project or business venture, panibagong product line, ganyan. Detailed evaluation of each new business prospect is, in a way, required. And, ginagawa naman talaga. Evaluate the scope for a profitable partnership, opportunities to earn extra income, and reputational benefits. Okay? Maaaring magkaroon sila ng additional clientele or malpalawak nila yung kanilang market. Okay? So, yun, normally lang naman. And then, merong example siya dito. I can just read it. Riskiness and index. Okay? Risk profile of an organization can be represented in many ways. Tapos, if you remember, meron tayong risk register. Then, identified all the risk na exposed yung company. And of course, pinaprioritize yung mga significant risk lang. Okay? Then you have the qualitative evaluation of individual risk. Organizations need to develop a means of measuring, evaluating, and quantifying the total risk exposure of the organization. Kasama naman talaga to dun sa ating risk management process, di ba? You have your risk identification, and then you rank them kung alin yung significant, alin yung ipaprioritize. And then after that, you try to measure yung magiging impact nila. In a way, yun yung nagiging basis din para masabi kung significant ba yung risk or hindi, or kailangan ba siyang i-prioritize or not, diba? And then evaluating and quantifying the total risk exposure of the organization. Inaalam mo magkano ba ang magiging impact nito sa funds ng company? Would it be positive or negative? Okay? Mapapagastos ba ang company or may papasok ba sa company na additional revenue or profit? Okay? Ayan. So, yung ERM approach, Enterprise Risk Management approach, kumbaga parang integrated na yung different aspects or different departments in a business. Tapos ay all of them have a role to play in the risk management. Ano. So, yung approach na yon, consolidated view of the risk exposure of the organization. Okay? Tapos, yung riskiness index, the idea is to present a semi-quantitative approach that takes a snapshot of the overall level of risk embedded in the organization. Okay? Kasi nga, yung risk, sometimes hindi naman financial in nature yung magiging effect to the company. Sometimes it's reputational. Sometimes, disruption sa operations. But then again, yung mga qualitative or non-quantitative effects na yon, it could be measured pa rin naman in terms of, financial losses to the company or effect on the company funds. Okay, so yun yung gusto niyang puntuhin dito sa riskiness index. Parang you get the average of how much all this risk that the company is exposed to would affect the resources of the organization. Ayan. It should be possible for an organization to identify the level of risk faced by its finances, infrastructure, reputation, and the level of risk that it faces in the marketplace. So, ang ginamit dito yung firm scorecard, finances, infrastructure, reputational, and marketplace. Okay? Di ba dun sa risk register natin, you also have the different aspects of the business. Tapos you identify all the different risks. Tapos you have your level of risk. Tapos nakalagay din doon kung significant or not. Tapos sometimes you also include yung impact, diba? How much would it affect the company? And then of course, the controls, the people responsible. Yun yung nasa risk register natin, right? Itong sa riskiness index, kumbaga parang yung, taking into account all of those risks, yung overall, parang kinukuha mo nga yung average or the overall effect on the company as a whole. Okay? So, ayan. Parang index. Parang, di ba, we have in the market index sa stock market. Parang, what do you call that? In a way, parang average nga ang dating. Okay? But it doesn't only consider one particular factor. It takes into account different factors that could affect the risk, okay, na kinakaharap ng company. Ayan. Seek additional controls to reduce the level of risk. Okay, you have the controls. Main focus of risk management is then simply to reduce the level of riskiness within the organization without affecting the strategy, project, or operations of the organization. In a way, tama naman. And yan nga naman yung focus ng risk management din. Okay? Pababain yung level of risk, tapos mag-continue yung operations without disrupting the operations, without affecting itong strategy, project, and operations. Okay? Upside of risk then becomes that the organization can follow the desired strategy, projects, and operations at the lowest level of risk that is reasonably and cost-effectively achievable. Okay? Aligned with the risk appetite within the risk capacity of the organization. Again, discuss na rin naman natin yan. Pero yung level of risk talaga namang pinapababa to the point na kailangan siya ay within the risk appetite of the company and within the risk capacity of the organization. Level of risk identified by the riskiness index represents the risk exposure of the organization. Ayan. So, in a way, measure pala siya nung risk exposure ng organization. Okay? Tapos, ito yung riskiness index gamit yung firm risk scorecard. So, meron siya ditong questions for each component. Financial, infrastructure, reputational, and marketplace. Ano. Tapos, bibigyan mo siya ng score, 0 and 5. Ito, for example, lack of availability of adequate funds to fulfill the strategic plans. Okay? Kapag 0, ibig sabihin no risk. Okay? Tapos yung 1, little risk. Tapos 5, yung highest risk. Ano? So, ayan. You're going to have to consider, may lack of adequate funds ba yung company? Kung hindi naman to nag-i-exist, edi ilagay mo 0. Pero kung tunay at merong, possible lack of funds, edi pwede mo ilagay 3, 4, or 5, right? Insufficiently robust procedures for correct allocation of funds for strategic investment. Okay, ayan. Inadequate internal financial control environment to prevent fraud and control credit risk. Inadequate funds to meet historical liabilities, including pensions, and meet future anticipated liabilities. Ayan. Tapos, under infrastructure naman, inadequate senior management structure to support organization and embed risk-aware culture. So, more on, organizational structure ito. Insufficient people resources, kulang sa tao. Skills and availability, including concerns about intellectual property. So, ang concern naman dito is training and development of the people, and of course, mga vacancies. Inadequate physical assets to support the operational and strategic aims of the organization. Tawag doon. Yung dikit-dikit na ba kayo sa office? Okay, tapos, let's say, share lang kayo sa ilang computers, ilang printers. Do you have enough equipment to do your job properly? Diba? Or to operate properly. Then you have information technology infrastructure, insufficient resilience or data protection. Business continuity plans are not sufficiently robust to ensure continuation of organization after major loss. So, pinaghanda nyo ba or hindi? Product delivery, transport arrangements, and/or communications infrastructure unreliable. Diba? Yung kapag nagkaroon ng problema si Globe or si Smart or si PLDT or kung sino man yung internet provider, affected ang inyong operations din kasi let's say, di ba, online payments or meron kayong computerized system na nakarely din on internet connection. So, are you prepared for that or not? And then for reputational, ito yung mga concerns, poor public perception of the industry sector and or potential for damage to the brands of the organization, di ba, mga, in a way, customer perception, customer service, ang dating. Branding. Ayan. Insufficient attention to ethics, corporate social responsibility, social, environmental, and ethical standards. Poor governance standards and or the sector is highly regulated with high compliance expectations. Di ba banks? Financial institutions, they are regulated by the BSP, di ba? And since this, they deal with, public funds or money of the general public. So, talagang heavily regulated sila. And kapag merong concerns, yung regulatory body is talagang andyan, nakatingin at tawag doon. Yung, hindi naman pinaproud, pero parang yung minamadali din, yung mga investigation, and if the public has questions, talagang you have to give us answers. Unlike meron kasing mga certain company, kapag hindi sila regulated, walang regulatory body na magpupush sa kanila na investigahan yung isang incident or isang situation, more likely than not, hindi nila i-deal with yung situation. But for mga regulated companies, talagang anyway, maganda naman, kasi protected talaga yung what do you call this? Interest ng public. Yung mga nangyayari ngayon na hacking sa mga bank accounts, diba? Okay. Marketplace component of the firm risk scorecard. Insufficient revenue generation in the marketplace or inadequate return on investment achieved. Highly competitive marketplace with aggressive competitors and high customer expectations. Lack of economic stability, including exposure to interest rate fluctuations and foreign exchange rates. Marketplace requires constant innovation and our product technology is rapidly developing. Supply chain is complex, lacks competition, and or raw materials costs are volatile. Tapos organization is exposed to potential for international disruption because of political risk, war, terrorism, crime, or pandemic. Ayan. Currently, we have the pandemic. Ayan. If you've noticed nga, di ba, we have certain industries na naka-adapt ng maayos by virtue na rin ng nature and nung kanilang industry. And then you have other industries na hindi halos makagalaw or hindi halos nakasurvive through the pandemic kasi nga, in a way, they were unable to adopt or change their business model to, cater or deliver their services. Or, by sheer nature lang ng kanilang industry, hindi pwede silang makapag-operate. Okay? Ayan. So, yung score nga, 0, no risk, little risk, some risk, medium, high, and then extreme risk or high level of risk. Okay, tapos yung upside and strategy. In order to make correct strategic decisions, the board of the organization will need access to risk information. And with that, they should be able to, make proper decisions. And that would contribute to, making strategic decisions that would help the company achieve its goals and objectives. Increase the likelihood of a positive event occurring kasi properly informed yung kanilang decisions. Implementation of strategy is usually achieved by way of projects and then ultimately delivered by operational core processes. Okay? In a way, yung risk culture na tinatawag, di ba? Hindi lang yung mga nasa top, hindi lang yung mga management or managers ang dapat nakakaalam ng risk management. This is an organization-wide initiative, na pati yung mga tao na nasa baba, na yung mismong nagde-deal or nag-ooperate or gumagawa talaga, di ba, dun sa production, humaharap sa tao, sa mga customers, and dapat alam din nila yung pasikot-sikot ng risk management kasi sila nga ito ultimately delivered by operational core processes. Ayan. Okay, opportunity management. Ayan. Yung kapag merong issue sa business, yung mga unwanted byproducts or ito pang isa, example dito. Some risks should be minimized, others should be embraced in the drive for growth. Pursuit of growth requires placing bets on specific products, customer segments, channels, company alliances, and so on. Okay. Ayan. And again, depending on the business na lang, kung kaya nila nasikmurahin yung ganun kataas na level ng risk, or if they are able to properly understand the risk and they have the capacity to counter yung mga negative effects, para ang makuha lang nila yung mga positive effects nun, edi go ahead, diba? So, opportunity management. Upside in projects, adopt the correct core processes, collection of activities that deliver a specific stakeholder expectation. Okay, so pagdating sa projects, again, efficiency, there is no disruption in, the operations, and then there is no excess cost. Okay, kumbaga hindi nasasayang yung resources. Kasi nga, yung efficiency, ang ibig sabihin niya, you have the limited resources, ginagamit mo siya in the operations, and by using the limited resources, you're able to produce maximum output. Ibig sabihin, walang nasasayang, walang tapon na resource. Adequately manage and that the correct project or priorities have been selected by the organization. Because of limited resources nga, hindi naman lahat ng opportunities kayang habulin or kayang i-take on ng organization. So, they have to assess them. They have to be picky. Of course, kung alin yung mas malaki yung possible income or possible profit to them, they would most likely go after that, right? And kung yung dalawang project na yan is pareho lang yung monetary reward kapag properly implemented, so they probably would consider other things like alin ang mas madaling i-implement, alin ang hindi masyadong restrictive with regards to regulations, ganyan. Okay? So, yan. The benefits expected from the project have been delivered in practice, and then yung successful, best possible allocation of limited resources. Okay, kasi nga hindi nga lahat kayang kunin ng company. Hindi kayang i-pursue ng company kasi kukunti lang. Mayroong limit on the funds, right? Yun yung reality ng karamihan ng companies. Mayroong limited na funds. Okay, bibihira yung company na, di ba, no limitation on the funds. They can pursue whatever they want because they have the money. Okay? Pero again, bihira lang yan. Upside in operations, efficient operations, ang goal, make best use of the resources of the organization, and should operate without unplanned disruption. If you would notice, halos pare-pareho lang naman yung upside na binabanggit. The main point pa rin, efficient operations, and then without disruption. Okay? Use minimum resources to produce maximum output. Okay? Achieve benefits over a competitor. Undertake work for a lower cost and still make a profit. Sustained improvements sa controls ito or operational processes. Bringing flexibility and resilience. Again, let's say you already have your process in place and you've been using it for years and years. And you probably probably understand na kumbaga yan na ba yung optimum ng company, right? Maybe to you, the answer is yes. But if you bring, other people in and in-analyze nila, in-assess nila yung efficiency of the operations or the controls in place, there's a possibility na may makita pa sila na, room for improvements. And yung improvements na yun, of course, syempre, should contribute more to the company. Hindi yung gagastusan, pero yung benefit naman is not much, right? You have your cost-benefit analysis then, ganyan. Okay? And of course, alin yung mas makakabuti sa company, not only in financial terms, but also in infrastructure, reputational, and marketplace position. Okay? So, ayun. Tapos, you have your embracing opportunities. Okay? Merong 2 examples dito. Etong isa, international restaurant brand, tapos na-discover niya, merong isang location na, looking for tenants. And then, syempre, dahil, mababa siguro yung demand, kasi nga, naghahanap pa sila ng tenants, walang gustong umupa. So, they took advantage of it. Because of the low demand, most likely, mababa yung rent, rate ng rent. So, ayun, because of the reduced rents, they are able to increase their profit. Okay? And then, this other one, electricity generating company. They decommission old costly generating facilities. So, na-reduce yung overall cost per unit of producing electricity. Ayan. Since napababa nila yung cost, edi, lumaki yung kanilang profit. Okay? So, ayun lang ang chapter 17 natin. Upside of risk. Again, the main point is benefits of risk management, CAD 3 or CAD E3. And then, again, another main point is efficient operations, no disruption in the operations, maximize output using limited resources. Okay, so that's it for this one. Thanks a lot.